I am once again reminding you we need to address something that Megyn Kelly said. I am Joshua Lisec. I am the New York Times bestselling author and co-author, ghostwriter of 97 nonfiction books, and a professional certified hypnotist. Through my unique talent stack, I curate current events to share with you how to better influence the VIPs of your life and career. I want to read with you something that Megyn Kelly said, formerly of Fox News, but now having her own show, like so many of them now. She said, quote, "They can't find a lot of young men who want to marry a working woman now." This is referring to women. So this is going to be one of those conversations. But you'll find something that is applicable universally, even if you're happily dating, married, have a significant other, or just don't care. That's okay. So she's saying that young women, can't find a lot of young men who want to marry a working woman now. This is an actual problem that's coming up on the right. And to me, it's so sad because how do we get to the point where we're now telling young, conservative, amazing women they're not attractive if they also work? A few things here happening. We're going to use the deep structure versus surface structure co-pioneered by Dr. Richard Bandler. As you know, I met with him a few weeks ago to talk about all this stuff. This book here, The Structure of Magic. It is the introduction to NLP. It's based on the work of Noam Chomsky, of all people, who figured out that the brain has what's called universal grammar, meaning from very early childhood, every single human being has a capacity to learn language, specifically to learn what is a well-formed thought and what is not a well-formed thought. Even my 2-year-old daughter, she is able to communicate in like chronological linear order what happens. So she might be announcing that there's a cake being baked in the oven. She might say something like, "Papa, Papa, kitchen, cake, oven, me." Meaning she wants it, right? So even though she doesn't have the full, she's not saying, "Father, I would like you to know that in the kitchen there is an oven, and inside of the oven is a cake. The cake is being baked for members of the family, including myself." She's not saying that, but what she's able to communicate, she does communicate. And there's a sense of well-formedness to her thoughts. But what if she had said, "Me, cake, oven, kitchen, me, cake." Wait, you put a cake in the oven that's in the kitchen? You took it out of the oven? I'm not sure. So even though with those few little words, because of that universal grammar that was first theorized by Noam Chomsky, she's able to communicate that even without all of the extra necessary words that would be necessary for adults. So one is clear, one is not. This post by Megyn Kelly reveals, I'm not going to say semantic ill-formedness because we can understand what she's saying, but there's a surface structure, which is the words that she's saying in a deep structure that is implied or communicated or implicit, but is still there, is still present, and it's false. It's false. How do we get to the point where we're now telling young, conservative, amazing women, okay, let's do the surface structure to deep structure investigation. Who's we? Who's the we who's telling women this? Specifically, young, conservative, amazing women. And are we telling just young, conservative, amazing women? Or are we telling all conservative women? Not just the young ones? Well, what if they're not amazing? What do you mean amazing in what way? They're not attractive if they also work. So this unknown, unnamed we is apparently telling all young, conservative, amazing, which is not defined, women that they're not attractive if they work. Are they literally telling young, conservative women they're not attractive if they also work? That's not happening. That's not happening anywhere. What is happening is people like Megyn Kelly. If you saw my previous episode on this, she went viral a few weeks ago by saying, you women can have it all, you should have it all, and you don't because you settled. I have my own apartment in New York City. I got a bunch of kids. I got a great job. I got a good husband. I have all of these material goods and possessions. And if you're not able to access all of them, have your cake and eat it too. They were talking about cake again. It's because you settled. You didn't try hard enough. You didn't want it. Now, I'm exaggerating slightly, so I'm going beyond the surface structure and the deep structure to make a point here. And Yeah. So who's the we telling women this? It's you. Megyn Kelly, it's you. You're the one who's saying this. Now, you're not literally saying you're not attractive if they also work, but people in the replies are pointing out, and this is from GM McCool. She says, it's really simple once you understand. Women are great. I love women. If a wife doesn't need a man, why would a man want a wife? Women who think they don't need a man don't marry for love, they marry for convenience. Women who put a career ahead of family will always struggle to find a man who actually wants a family. Correct. Women nurture, men protect. Women caregive, men provide. This is 99.9999% of human history. Human beings, in some form or fashion, have been around for a very long time. And who we are now is because of who we were, who our ancestors were, how we survived, how we made it. We don't make it without who we are. And what's so strange is we are prehistoric creatures in a postmodern world. This is what bothers so many of us about contraceptives, birth control. It's not natural. It is not natural to sleep with someone or anyone over and over and over and no child result from it. You know what they called that? Barren. Barren. Now they call it sex positive. It's intense. Our language is our reality now. I don't see anyone telling young women that they're not attractive if they also work. It's about priorities. A lot of women are working until they find their husband. Are the women attractive? Absolutely. You go to any grocery store and you'll see an absolute 9.5 out of 10 at the register. Is she working? Yes. Absolutely, she's working. Does she want to be working the register being a 9 out of 10? I don't think so. I don't know so. But are we saying that because she's working, she's not attractive? See, no one's saying that. No one's saying that. It's like the exact opposite position. What we have here on the right is we have second wave feminism disguised as first wave feminism. First wave feminism says, effectively, yes, because of domestic abuse, domestic violence, particularly alcoholics, I've done episodes on this before, women ought to be able to own property. They ought to be able to make legal decisions for themselves. That's first wave feminists. I think everybody is you will very rarely find someone who is not a first wave feminist. But they might drop the first part and just say they're a feminist. Meanwhile, feminists of today say trans women are basically women. Transphobia hurts all women. Trans women are women. If you're not allowing an individual with a penis and testicles into your bathroom, you are not a feminist. What? So right now what's happening is fourth wave feminists are battling second wave feminists. It's bizarre. Over what even is a woman, and neither of them can define it. It's hilarious. But this is second wave feminism coming from Megyn Kelly. I don't need no man. I simply replied, sundresses are better than pantsuits. Pantsuits are the second wave feminist symbol that women are equal to men. Anything a man can do, a woman should do, and could probably do better. That's second wave feminism. This is women in not just the workforce, but women replacing men, and through affirmative action saying, women are actually more qualified because she's a woman, even if she has less experience and less credentialing than you. She's a woman, so she deserves to be here more than you as a man because she's a woman. So second wave feminism very quickly becomes women are just better, right? And we observe this. We know this. And now there are entire industries that are 90% women, 85% women, jobs that are 98% women, 99% women. And some of them should be. I don't think anybody wants a male doula, for example. That ought not be a thing. But returning to this, so anytime you are getting into an argument or disagreement, you're trying to persuade someone and there's resistance, please help them define their terms and you yours. If you're saying Megyn Kelly's a feminist, oh, you're not a feminist? Or you're saying this is feminist. Oh, so you don't think women should be allowed to like drive a car or own property? Someone will joke, obviously. No, an anonymous troll. But we don't live in that society. You're not putting the first wave feminism genie back in the bottle. It's just not going to happen. There was a time when the vast majority of women did not even want first wave feminism. 95% of women, given the chance, voted against suffrage and various other equal rights, so to speak, at the turn of the century. This is known. This is not even hard to find. And they gave their reasons, and their compelling reasons. But it doesn't matter. It's over. Ship sailed. We don't want to be arguing about the past when we have a future to live and a present to deal with and somehow cope with. But the lesson for you is here. Use Richard Bandler's deep structures or surface structure to help people define what it is they're actually saying before you start arguing with them. This will allow you to have the moral high ground as someone who's trying to find understanding. Wow, she would say, we're now telling young, conservative, amazing women they're not attractive if they also work. Wow, we're telling young, conservative, attractive women they're not attractive if they also work. Wow, who's saying that? Who are these people? Right, and you can say it like you agree with her. Well, everybody. Who's everybody? Get them to go from the surface structure of what they're literally saying to what they actually mean. Well, it's people in the culture. Well, who specifically is saying this? And then they point out, well, this person's saying it. Oh, really? Oh, let's see. Let's look up. I follow them on X. Let's see. Oh, well, here, what they said here is not what you're saying. So you can do this without attacking versus, ha, gotcha. You don't have to play gotcha like that. You can act inquisitive. And what will probably happen is they will eventually change the subject. But they're probably not going to defend that position next time they get a chance to do this because they were challenged and they did not know what to say next. And so the part of persuasion is understanding that it is a process in many cases. And it may not be that you're going to change someone's mind, but what you might do is have them not defend their position as hard next time. And that is persuasion.